Okay. Um, this is a response to Park Rose permaculture. So I've been subscribed for, I would say, about 5, 6 months. Been liking what you're preaching, and I have followed quite a bit of it. I've been setting up my own things and um, prepping for a hard, a hard, at least a year coming up. Just know there is no, because I'm going to read a post that I posted, and I know you're going to understand this, but I am very angry, and I guess you could say somewhat of a vengeful mood, but, and I know you understand the damage that they have caused, but when you released your video on he's going to get away with it, that pissed me off, and we'll get into it. Just know your rhetoric is what pissed me off, but I'm not mad at you. It's because what I know. And to get ahead of my conversation, I consider us, and of course they spouted this. You can quote them on by Kilmeade and people at Fox and other people around the internet who has a fan base, a large fan base. They declared war on us. I officially see this as a one-sided civil war, and they called for this. The losing side needs to pay, and they are losing. Now, how much do they need to pay? I don't know. It's impossible to say because a lot of hatred came spewing out when Trump won his first term, and then second term, it's just gotten a lot worse. With even in Biden, a lot of fake rhetoric came around and made the Democrats lose, along with the genocide that Biden did cause. But Biden was a pretty decent president. He made a lot of good moves, but that genocide cover washes all that. That record doesn't matter because we still got Trump, and Trump undid everything he undid whatever good Obama did, which he didn't do much. And yeah, so Biden's record, nothing. His presidency might as well have not existed on how bad things have gotten. So let me read the post, and then I'll give you some more context into why the rhetoric that you're spewing, sorry, my anger's coming out, not spewing, that you're, I guess the correct word is regurgitating, or maybe you just have that fear that just came out and you made a video on it. We're not at peace. Right now we need to be talking about survival and being prepared to be dragged out of your house any day because of your color of your skin, or when you go pick up your kids, you never show up for your kids because you got stopped by ICE and are now in a detention set, and we lose track of you. So let me get to my post. So I'm talking to ex MAGA directly. Those who voted 2 to 3 times, when asked this question, you need to either say because you got caught up in the catchy slogans and the rhetoric of stupid, or unlike the guy in the vid, be very specific on what got you to vote. Hold on, it cut off. After the first term. And in my post, I share a video from Brian Tyler Cohen. It's a short. about wow, three-time Trump voter regrets vote due to skyrocketing prices. Notice what's the context here. He still would be for Trump. And all of the shit that's been going on, including the wars, if his pocketbook wasn't affected. That's the mindset that we're dealing with. Because his pocketbook is affected, now he cares. And then his answer was he liked him in the first term. I would like to know the specifics of that. So, going back to my post, so we can help dismantle the stupid you learned. I am being aggressive because your side declared war on us. We still haven't raised a gun at you. You sent your browncoats to aim at us, taking us on in our streets in our inflatable dinosaur costumes. Fuck you. Fuck yeah, I'm pissed. I said fuck yeah, but fuck you too. I'm pissed that your side is going after all of us. Innocent or not, as long as you had money in your pocket, you would have stayed in the hateful rhetoric. You only woke up from your delusions because your wallet is broke. You broke us till you went broke. And then now I'll be responding to you. Which leads me to this type of rhetoric, which pissed me off. Again, you didn't piss me off, the rhetoric did, because of what I know that isn't you. But because her mindset isn't that we are in a one-sided civil war, I forgive the words, though I disregard them. Already setting up that there's going to be forgiveness. We should not accept any of this. And to bring in the context of that, because I have a feeling, of course, I can't say there's nothing backing it up because I'm using what she has done in her career to make me think the way I'm thinking that she's going to act in the future. And I'm referring to AOC. She has been a massively mixed bag when it comes to her being a so-called populist and actually fighting for us. She's got a lot of following, and I think a lot of that ego has transferred out. I consider her. I'm gonna have to look it up. I always forget which president forgave Nixon. Which president pardoned Nixon? Yeah. Gerald R. Ford. I'm afraid that AOC is going to do a Gerald R. Ford thing. Maybe not for Trump. Well, definitely not for Trump. Fuck him. But, and I'm going to say maybe for the cabinet that worked under Trump, though I still give it a high likelihood that she's not going to give a pardon to them. But anywhere underneath them, there's going to be a lot of pardons, I think. I do not like that prospect. There should not be any pardons because there's a lot of damage that they have done that I'm going to get into after I'm done reading my post. So, we should not accept any of this. Or we might as well give the Jan 6ers their 1.776 billion fund because forgive and forget, though no reparations for the rest of us who were actual victims. It's going to take time to fully respond to Park Rose, which is what I'm doing now, as I have to recomb through the sources shared to dismantle any notion of forgiveness. For example, she brought up the Civil War and how the Confederates didn't face any real consequences. The North only destroyed their military. General Sherman went down and burned entire villages and let soldiers ransack Virginia. We forced the Southern economy to shift away from slavery. The Confederacy absolutely paid for their treachery against the U.S. Should they have paid more? Sure. But even the North wasn't ready for that step. as we still needed a civil rights movement, still needed to dismantle Jim Crow and separate but equal policies. World War I wasn't enough, so colored minorities had to fight World War II to get the respect that was more than earned already. Before fighting together, they literally separated the main fight from those who were not wanted and kept people in the back while whites were up at the front. To look good for the papers and reporters back home. Everyone remembers the Enigma Code. No one talks about the Navajo Code. The only way we move on from this time, is by prosecuting the enemy of the United States. There can't be forgiveness this time, as they actively try to kill humanity. This death cult can't be forgiven. There needs to be enough prosecutions, enough liquidations, enough televised hearings of our elected politicians bashing them hard over their overt bypassing of the laws. Just the Epstein files itself is enough to make prosecutions happen. Get after it. So, what did I mean when I said they're trying to kill humanity, as they actively try to kill humanity? I'm gonna post the video again down below, but I've been mentioning it a few times ever since I heard it. I forgot his first name. It might be his first name, Anton. I'll share it. But he did a report on Elon Musk's satellites and how they are only able to last, or at least built to only last, 5 years. After that, his satellites will crash and burn into Earth, which sounds like nothing because our atmosphere burns all the trash, or most of it anyway. Obviously, some still makes it through. But the metals that Elon Musk satellites are made of would actually damage the ozone layer in long term. They haven't started crashing yet, but we are due for some crashes. And the fact that, according to the reporting, that we have thousands of these satellites from Elon Musk. I forgot what the company's called. I know Ukraine is using their satellites for their defense. We're due for a bunch of crashes, and the I forget what it's like, a metal or it's a chemical that will stay in our atmosphere for years and would damage the ozone layer. We are dealing with shit like that. We are dealing with Trump deregulating and allowing the spray of a banned chemical to make trees grow faster. I forget what the chemical is called. He just regulated that. And then, of course, before the Iran war, I remember reading a report on him canceling any solar land projects, where there was a solar land that was almost done. He canceled that project, and now that island's just sitting there. It's not active. And then, of course, you can bring in Trump's war, and, we talk about wanting to pump more coal and drill, baby, drill. And then, of course, the AI data centers that are poisoning and drinking our water and poisoning our air and making noise pollution. I said I was going to do a deep dive and explain everything, but not only would that be too much for a single person to handle, but that's a lot of work for someone that I'm not trying to attack. This isn't an attack against you. I just want you to understand, and I know you understand, but I don't know if you see the full grasp picture of doing any forgiveness would do to our progress of trying to have humanity survive. We are not in a good place, and there's a lot of suffering to come. In my guesstimations that I can make, I don't see us getting back to normal until after a second term of a Democratic president. And that's if the oligarchs haven't gotten control. That's how long I think it'll take for us to get anywhere to normalcy. You can talk about the deregulations on our food. Of course, I think you mentioned the pork bill, save our bacon or something. Um, and then I think that's part of save the bacon. But yeah, trying to buy meat from Argentina, I think it was. I forget where. there's a there's a lot going on right now. That is a lot happening, and then of course in my own personal fight, which is what I can fight, but I know that it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that important. But digital ownership and stuff like that, they're trying to take our rights away with that, and then yeah, it's just all bad right now. We can't the forgiveness talk needs to stop. There cannot be forgiveness until their side of the war is over. When we can actually get our troops to stop bombing other countries and dismantle ICE and arrest a lot of the ICE officers. I don't know if we arrest them all. That's a lot of arrests. But we need to arrest a lot of them. Because there's a video which I'll also post below. Um, and it's 37 seconds long, I think. And then you can watch the full live, because in that post, I post the where I got the stream from. They are trying to kill us. They are trying to push us under tires, run us off the road, look for any way to maim us. I think I saw reports of they're continuing to maim those in New Jersey. And then, selling of Americans to foreign prisons. Um, I mean, we're bombing everywhere. It's not just Iran. I think there was a bombing in Somalia for whatever reason. For was it Boko Haram, something like that? It's a lot what I've been watching, and it's bad. And another reason why I'm constantly angry, and understand that we don't know each other. I just followed him, and my politics have followed with him. So me and Kyle across the internet, Kyle Kalinske of Secular Talk, have tried to argue throughout the internet with, trying to be open-minded and try to explain like I'm explaining now to you, where it's not just full of anger. We actually bring documents, proof, and whatever, but none of that fucking mattered. They heard a good, easy slogan to follow. They got a simple to put on, and they were happy to march through our streets and take away all our rights. And just brutalize every blue city. And of course now we're winning in a blue election. They're claiming fraud. So am I angry? Absolutely. Am I a little vengeful? Yes. But I am willing to think a little softer when we're at peace. But we ain't at peace right now. We're not at peace. They are actively trying to kill everybody. I don't know what Donald Trump is doing. I don't know if he's a Manchurian candidate that is bought by a foreign entity, most likely Russia, if that is the case, to dismantle the United States. Or if he's just a horrible ruler. I do not, it's hard to say. because some things, like the way he took over the government, was genius. I know obviously he didn't come up with it himself. He's got people that he listened to, but they took over the government and they were smart about it. The first time around with Jan 6, they were an idiot, much like Hitler. He was an idiot when he tried to do that bar thing, where he marched a couple hundred of his followers and, tried to kill or arrest, I forget which, the political opponents and failed miserably. They learned, they came back, and they took over. I compared it once before, but the way they fired the military and all that and took over the systems, it looked to me like it was a Operation Valkyrie moment, just for the wrong side. That's what that looked like to me. They have control. I mean, they're getting ready to lose it. I don't. My honest thoughts is that there's still going to be a fight in the United States. I do believe there's going to be a battle over the White House, is what I believe, because I do not see them stepping down. That's what I see coming. I'm hoping this election, what my overall strategy is to make it to that election and show that they are overwhelmingly unpopular and that the people support Democrats and that the vote will be honor bowing to the military, that they have to defend the results. I do not see them stepping down. That's the whole point of his little bunker project, is to prepare for that outcome. I do see the military getting involved. I do see them having to move into Washington, D.C. to take it back by force because the people in charge refuse to step aside. So, am I angry? Yes. Am I worried? Yes. I'm in survival mode. Like right now, I do this twice a week now where I'm only eating once a day so I can lose weight. It sucks. But I know what's coming. And I only do that because I'm not able to exercise every day. I am very much disabled, and all I can do is watch all this play out. I want to be out there with the protesters. I want to be out there at every ICE facility in Texas and, try to get the people out. I want to raise hell. I have great speeches that I write. Like I would be great. I would be great out there, and I'm stuck in my bed doing this, hoping that the algorithm is friendly enough to share to a couple hundred people, and maybe they'll do something. I am also mad that YouTube has censored me throughout the years as well. I have proved it already, which if you require proof, I don't mind proving it to you too. But I've already shared it in the posts. I showed recordings. I've showed entire deleted texts of me trying to debate an issue that I heard on the video. That's the whole point why I'm on Blue Sky, is because I've been censored enough to know that YouTube isn't friendly to me, at least. And I know that there's a lot of talk right now about how YouTube has lowered the progressive talk, lowering their viewer count and whatnot. Yeah, so this is what I do. I try to come up with good answers. I try to be very precise in the way I phrase things. I try to not give doom and gloom. I do give hope, but that hope comes into people fighting for their rights, fighting, in the non-violent sense, even though it's gotten very fucking close because, they started killing Americans. And then, of course, I mean, man, we really messed up. We really messed up. Like, I, I mean, it's hard to say because I also believe in the theory that Trump didn't win. I have some evidence of that you can watch. I have entire playlists that you can look into where I'm talking about where I put in a timeline. For the most part, there's new playlists that I haven't organized yet. Where like U.S. history currently in the making, got a bunch of videos on that, which is where I put videos on the topic of Donald Trump didn't win, he cheated. Um, but like before the Iran war, before the 12-day war, when Iran fired the 200 rockets where they telegraphed everything, where they said, we're going to fire a large barrage at you at this time, and it's going to aim at these spots, and this is what you got to do. And they let us blow all those rockets up, and few still made it through. That's when I made that that list. It's about 52 to 58 videos in a timeline, perfectly set of everything you need to know about the Iran situation, including Gaza. I have one for Gaza too. I have one for making a um, something U.S. change, making a case for U.S. change. I also have that playlist already, what I've seen and what I think needs to be fixed. We need a lot of fixing. To my eyes, there should not be a single person without a job because we have a lot to fucking do. We have a lot of regulations that have been unregulated that we need people to learn how to inspect. We need, of course, construction workers because our infrastructure gets a grade of D across the board and it's falling apart. We are the richest country in the world and we can't even fix our infrastructure. Um, and then, of course, the chemicals that are being spilled everywhere. I actually recently, not too recently, but I also looked up, I think it was the EPA, because what brought me into it was that spilling in Washington, D.C., I think, um, in Plutomic River, if I remember that correctly. Something like that. It sounds something like that. Where like 400,000 of sewage waste got into the water. I started looking up the EPA stuff where they cleared lands of contamination, and we need to re-examine that list. I've shared that on my posts. Uh, there's a lot to do. We need to clean our oceans, we need to clean our rivers, we need people to invent things that are very creative into getting off of gasoline for the most part and oil. Obviously, it will not disappear because I know tires are made out of oil, and I know some our power plants still need oil, even though we should be transitioning away from that. But I am of the opinion that you need to hold on to those resources just in case something happens. Because I also think about our satellites, and which is why I brought up the video game thing about ownership. Because I always think about the Harrington effect, where if some sort of electric phenomenon happens, like a sunburst, and it like shuts off our technology for a while, we need to have to be able to play offline. Um, there's a lot I think about, but there's a lot that needs to be done to. I know I went off on a tangent, but there's a lot to do. We need to make everyone self reliable in this country. Obviously, with your homegrown garden, that's going to help a lot. But we need to get off of power plants. Like every house should be a solar panel, should have a solar panel of some sort to give us electricity. We can't be relying on wind and stuff like that. We have an endless source right up in the sky. There should be an entire ecosystem of power, not just reliance on one or two things. So if one system fails, it's okay. We will survive. We got other systems working in place. There's a lot to do. We have a massive ass country, and we have neglected from ocean to ocean, border to border. It's all needs to be looked at and regulated and, you know, inspected. So again, this wasn't an attack on you. It was an attack on the idea of forgiveness. I do not want to forgive them right now. We are still at war in a one-sided civil war, and it hasn't stopped yet. So this type of rhetoric, I do not want to hear it.